to Real Talk. We are so glad that you're joining us today. Real Talk is where we ask the questions that you really want to know. And so we are very privileged today. We got two incredible leaders who lead one of the largest churches in Australia. They are the Australia-wide campus, location, national pastors.
There you go, official title.
Church. Pastor Josh and Sjhana Greenwood. Come on, make some noise for them.
Hello, my friends. Good to be with you.
How are we? You guys doing well?
Oh, loving it. Life is normal. Nothing's different. Easy. Church as it always has been.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just glad, Jace, that all this happened after you came and preached for us. And if anyone's watching, you need two things you need to know. One, he killed it. I wasn't there.
Interview, you know.
Oh, it's your interview. It is yours. People know I wasn't there. I was in America, but you killed it. I'll get my timing better.
He was awesome.
And he sweated like no man has ever sweated on our stage. It was 32 degrees and torrential rain, and our church is like a giant shed with really bad air conditioning and all the lights. He shredded both on the stage, and she just shredded naturally.
I lost about 35 kilos that day. It was like, boom, I was down. It was hot. I thought Adelaide, you guys told me that Adelaide's weather's fantastic, incredible. And I get there, it's pouring rain and my eyeballs are sweating. It was
a weird night.
Oh man,
I was just glad. I was glad 4 people turned up to hear you on a night like that. So that's that.
You were also wearing a jacket though. That didn't help.
It's true, but you know what? In weather like that, you can't show the sweat patches. You know what I mean? Like,
it's good cover.
Jacket's key. Hey, so are you guys doing well? Are you guys alive? ISO quarantine. Talk to us. How's life on the inside?
It's good. I'm actually enjoying, the different normal we are in. Josh struggles a bit more. He's a little people person, so he struggles being home, goes a little bit crazy, don't you, babe?
A little bit.
All in all, we're doing well. Kids are doing well. We haven't had to do too much homeschooling yet, but I know that's coming.
Yeah.
So good.
So, it's all good. It's just manic and different. But it's actually like we did a bit of recording just ahead because we thought Easter might shut down and all that kind of stuff as far as what we could do.
Yeah.
So it's been weird. The last week, most nights have been home, and pastor's life is normally people in your home or you're out. So it is nice, and I do feel like I'm going stir crazy, but it's, we're trying to get fit at the same time, trying all that stuff and catching up on Tiger King. And have you watched it?
No, I actually haven't watched it yet. Have you watched it? We gave it a try. And to be honest,
didn't do it.
I would have. You know what? There was some funny scenes. Like I like where he's like trying to be real playful, but the tiger's like straight up want to destroy this guy. So those scenes are hilarious. But I just can't get it in. But a friend of mine, Alex Lee from C3, shout out to you. I love you, miss you. He goes, Jace, you got to give it a chance. Give it a chance. You reckon it's worth it?
No. But bringing it up because it's popular. I'm just trying to look like I'm on trend with all the kids at the moment that are watching. That 40-year-old's hip. That's all we're trying to do. But really, the greys, you can see it.
Awareness, but it's I don't know.
It's
all right.
It's all right.
I need to say that
it's crazy.
I need to say the beard's impressive.
Yeah,
it's looking
there.
beautiful.
Yeah, upstairs is still pretty dark.
It's a lot of grey.
A lot of grey coming through there.
Is the beard approved by Sean?
Yeah, I like it.
He
looks really young without.
I'm 30. I'm 38. Next year 40, and I take this off and I turn 19. Like they go so young, too young.
Yeah. Totally. I got a baby face, and I got a really like round face as well. So when this goes, I look like the moon. You know what I mean? It's so good. It's so good. Hey, now look, we've with you guys, obviously incredible leaders, preaching, leading, doing your whole thing, right?
All that, Jason, more.
All that and some, right?
Keep going.
Most people see you guys on a platform or see you in the leadership setting. So what we want to do is we want to ask you guys some questions to give people an insight into who you are. So we've got this segment on the show that's been running forever. It's called... It's called...
Is this a show?
Yeah, so on our regular show that's been broadcast across Asia Pacific, and
I love this.
we have this show, a segment called the Minute of Madness. And so this Minute of Madness, we got this professional countdown. Katie?
I got it.
And so Katie's going to put a minute on the clock up. We're going to ask you guys a series of questions. You got to answer as many questions as you can in the minute. It's very simple. We're going to give you two choices. We're going to go back and forth. We'll start with you, Sjhana, and go to you, Josh. And you just got to tell us which one's your preference, all right? Very simple, very honest, very real.
I love this show.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
Right. Katie, we got a minute on. Ready.
Who's first? Sjhana.
Sjhana's up first. Ready, set, go. All right, Sjhana, Nutella or peanut butter?
Nutella.
All right, Josh, savory or sweet?
Savory.
Sjhana, you version or hard copy?
Hard copy.
Josh, Amazing Grace or Shout to the Lord?
Amazing Grace.
Hopefully does.
You judge that.
Love you, Pastor. Okay, Sean's Holy Ghost or Holy Spirit?
Holy Spirit.
Okay, Josh, Songs of Solomon or Leviticus?
Songs of Solomon.
Shana, Home and Away or Neighbours?
Oh, no. Neighbours.
All right, Josh, Tithes or Offering?
Tides.
Okay, Shana, Creed or Nickelback?
Sorry, I missed it.
Creed or Nickelback?
Oh, Creed.
Yeah, definitely Creed. Josh, milkshake or coffee?
Coffee.
Shana, book or movie?
Book.
All right, Josh, summer or winter?
Summer.
Shana, praise or worship?
Worship.
Josh, Adelaide or jail? Adelaide or jail?
Stop.
Oh, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Adelaide.
I like that.
Adelaide, mate, the only state not founded by convicts. So.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Wow.
Right, so don't you come at me with your jail talk.
Wait, is that really true?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All just free Australians at the beginning.
Well, you know what? That's just a good bit of information you'll never need to utilise in your life.
Yeah.
So,
No, for sure.
for all of our viewers out there, enjoy.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what? You can stay there in Sydney, mate. This is the best
Yeah,
secret.
we've got a gift room for anyone who's watching.
Secret, It's a well-kept secret.
Hey, so talk to us. Now that everyone's in ISO, everyone's in quarantine, can we get real for a second?
Let's get real.
What are some of the things, the habits that you're starting to see in each other that are starting to drive you guys crazy?
Oh, you go first.
What's going crazy? Okay, Shans uses the kids as an excuse for not being able to get all the work done. And I don't want to bring it up, and I'm probably in trouble after. But
I love it. Yes, I love it.
Yeah, and yeah. So I don't know. Something. What about here? Throw it back.
Okay.
Throw it back.
Throw it back.
You've gone.
You can bring it back.
Return the
Bring it
serve.
back. All right.
Josh is
Shans
going again.
has fallen asleep earlier.
It's true.
She is, but she'll
True,
get
but
up
I'm
earlier.
getting up earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Bring it back. Come on, throw it back.
Katie, just
Okay.
Yeah,
just
I
so
just
you
I
guys
find
know-
a reason to go into the office.
just so you know, just so you know, with sleep, Katie has kept a consistent 8 p.m. bedtime.
Wow.
How?
No, not 8 p.m. But she somehow is in bed so early.
No. Listen.
Katie, there's no way.
I'm at that stage of pregnancy now where I roll all night, wake up, roll over, wake
Don't
up.
blame our
I'm like a
unborn
new
child.
baby. I'm up every few hours, so I'm exhausted no matter how many hours I get. So
Okay, does this explain?
Sure, it's all about the pregnancy.
yeah, yes,
No.
it is.
Yeah, hey, Josh, please don't play the compassionate card.
I didn't think you would use the pregnancy, Katie.
All right. How about you, Sean? What's Josh doing that's just making the blood boil?
He's on the phone all the time. He's on Voxer. We're on Zoom. I feel like we look at screens all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
you should be
you're meant
ashamed
to
of
go
yourself.
and watch TV at night. You don't want to do it because you're looking at screens all the
Yeah.
time. So
Wow.
probably his phone use has gone.
Yeah.
It's already big, but
But you can't touch people and you can't see people, so you. I just feel like I need contact all the
I've
time.
been trying to get cuddles and introvert over here.
Oh, well,
No, go.
Yeah, and 8 p.m. makes everything. Yeah, that's early.
no, not a bit. I'll start doing that now. Just, I'm getting the rest. Okay, all right. So tell us, you've got a 10-year-old, 5-year-old. What are their names?
Jackson and Jordan.
Jackson and Jordan. That's lovely.
Yeah.
And
Jack's the older one, Geordie's the younger one.
oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And so tell me, how did you guys meet? And what's your story?
Tell them, Sean. Tell them my story.
We went to the same school. Josh was a year above me.
Older man. Go on.
And I in my class was Josh's brother. So this is a funny story. We never dated or anything, but Josh's brother and I went to the formal together.
My brother had a huge crush on Sjhana.
We were friends.
But you went to the formal with him, right?
I went to the formal with him as friends. And then...
you came to the front door and saw my brother and me and thought, why have a meat pie when you can have a T-bone steak? And,
wait, did you open the door, Josh, shirt off and like, hey?
Oh, this is how I always open the door. Come inside.
You didn't like me back then.
No, I wasn't keen. But yeah, so my brother was interested, but then time went on and he well and truly moved on and we were just friends. So we would just hear that noise of a kid walking by with a game. And I think after a few years, we were hanging out in the same circles.
I actually pursued Josh. I liked Josh, and then I invited him over one time, him and his friends, and I thought, I played basketball back then. So I thought, how awesome would it be, like, we'll just play basketball.
Bit of one-on-one. Know what I'm talking about?
And I beat him fair and square. He didn't let me win.
I let her win. Go on.
And I thought, that's awesome. I reckon. No, I liked you from there. And I said to Josh, I said,
let's have a chat.
I really loved hanging out with you and let's hang out more. And he said,
I said,
no.
You know, I just gotten a full-time job, finished uni, and I'm a peacock, let me fly. And I just wanted to get out there and live my best life and hang out with my boys. And so I said no. And I'm not saying Sjhana's and her friends got bitter, but oh my gosh, they got effort just a little bit. And then we started seeing each other a little bit in friendship circles again.
Yeah.
And we went to a gig in town and then with my friend and went to play pool. And my friend was like, as you know, boys do, shouldn't like, is anything happening with you and Sjhana's? I'm like, no, bro. He's like, do you mind if I have a go? I'm like, totally, right? This is it's bad conversation, but that's how it went because we're honest on your show.
Yeah, it's real talk.
When I get on your show, I'm going to be honest. And so Sjhana's and him started playing pool, and then I got competitive and decided, well, now I'm interested. So it's pretty much your Disney fairy tale story. A boy meets girl.
Girl pursues boy.
Boy rejects girl. Boy gets jealous of his mate playing pool. Here we are, 15, 16 years later, happy.
So unlike any Disney movie ever.
Nah, not the ones they release to public.
I love so not driven by love, but driven by competition.
But it's kept us together.
Well, see, I loved Josh though. I loved him. I knew that we were meant to be together. He just didn't know it. So prophetic, whatever you want to call it.
Now I know.
You know what, Sjhana? Just you're a saint. I don't know how.
She's a good person, man.
Wowee, my gosh.
She's a good person.
Hey, look, now you guys have. You mentioned that your boys are 10 and 5. Mm-hmm. They're entering into the whole, you know, like as they're getting older, you're going to start to have these conversations around dating and all of this business.
Totally.
Have you got some advice to
Dude, yeah. So, you know, good old Josh Sjhana. So I got a copy of his book, and then we had your Auntie Pat came over. And she was Patricia Wirracoon. So she was in church and she was, of course, you know, she was loving the conversation. And in one of our parenting seminars, she's like, if your kids start asking questions, just have the conversation. So this is last year, Jack's 8, which is way younger than we thought the conversation would start. She was just like, but watch where you start. You start when they're asking, but you'll figure out how far to go. You know, just start the convo. So Joel would give me one of his books and he signed it. He wrote my name as Gary, as awkward. But anyway, if he watches this, I'm hurt. But
hey, wait. While we're shouting that, Pastor Joel Sjhana, incredible. Go buy the book. Come on, little plug. It's called The Chat. Yeah. Great book for kids. We love you, Pastor Joel.
Totally, so helpful.
And Sharon.
And both just a right.
Sponsor the show. Real talk provided by The Chat. Let's do it. Let's talk.
The proceeds of The Chat. So I sat down with Jack and I bought it. We got a chocolate milk each, and we got some chocolate, and sat there by ourselves. And I started the convo and asked him, "What do you? How do you think all this works, Jackson?" And he's like, "Well, you know." And he gave his opinion, and his opinion was fairly wrong. So it was very innocent. So I just took him to the doorway of understanding how all this works. And within 5 minutes, he pulled 2 meters away from me, gave me a thumbs up and said, Dad, that's all I need to know. Thank you. And he ended the conversation. So it was like, like easy. So I feel like we've avoided that chat for another couple of years, maybe. Yeah. And but it's interesting. They start to definitely notice girls, and girls start to notice them. And
well, it's funny. Like I remember, because we didn't know what we were having either time when we had our daughter first and our son. And straight away with your daughter, like I remember the first thing I thought about when my daughter came out was, oh my goodness, we have to protect her. And like there's this, this world is she's vulnerable in this world and all of that. And here I am thinking it's the hardest sex to raise. And then we had a boy. And then I was like, oh my goodness, I feel so burdened about raising a good man, because I feel like society so pushes men to be a certain way towards women. And I almost feel like it's harder. I would say my concern and the burden I carry is more for my son in terms of teaching him to be a good and godly man. And obviously Jason's got a huge role to play in that. But there's a lot of things I'm like, I wouldn't have no idea how to teach respect and to teach, just the things that the statistics show that men really struggle with, and I would say I underestimated as a parent, like he's only 2, but I underestimated that feeling of raising a male, right?
Totally.
Yeah,
totally.
I would say he's yours.
it's the thing is that, and we don't have girls, so we don't know. But I just know our boys are such imitators, and boys are watching and listening to everything. Their heads, they are everywhere else, but they're listening all the time. They're all the time listening, all the time mimicking, all the time wondering. And I feel like the great thing about boys is they ask direct, and they say it how it is, but you are shaping them. And there is this inbuilt thing in a boy, I think, to form their own way. And it is a real responsibility as a mum and dad, I think, to shape them on that journey. Like we're saying to Jack all the time, we're not doing this for now, mate. We're doing this for when you're 18. We're stopping you right now. Like our boy could have the potential to have a really addictive personality. He gets fixed on stuff, right? And he wants what he wants. Beautiful personality, beautiful boy, but he's zoned in. And we're like, you know what? We're just saying no, not for a reason sometimes, just because sometimes there's a no to this, because you're going to have to be able to say no when you're older. And it's right at that age, even at 2, even younger. You're just shaping them to be the men you want them to be later. Totally. Same with daughters.
Wow. So good. You guys not only just doing a great job raising your family, but you guys are leaders in quite a significant church in our nation. And so can you guys talk to us a little bit about that? Because, you've got a church that's been around for a long time. It's got a rich heritage. It's got a rich history. Yet you guys are still, I was just chatting to you, Josh, this week about, what you guys are doing in the midst of COVID with Zoom church and how you're connecting and engaging. And you guys are doing an incredible job. Talk to us about the whole leadership challenge of that, the church, leading a church in that has that history, that has that heritage, but leading them forward into a contemporary relevant time and a relevant season where the message hasn't changed, but the methods had to.
Yep. Well, I guess at the start of this year, let's just start there. I said to the church, okay, this is what I think God's going to do. We're going to have an online campus and be online as a church by the end of this year. We're going to be a church that focuses on small groups in a greater way. We're a church that's going to focus on community in a greater way. And said to the church, I believe by the end of the year, we'll have a revival spirit that's not found in a building or a meeting, but a revival spirit that's found on the inside of us.
That's good.
So good.
Something forced us to have such a revival. It was an accidental prophecy. I'm not Mike Maiden or Dave McCracken.
Prophet Greenwood, the apostle, the prophet. Wow.
This is what we said. And of course, without knowing the context, the church is excited about that. I think our church has a rich foundation, and the church is nearly 100 years old. Much like yours, one of the pillar early churches of the nation.
Yep.
At the same time, while that makes it sound inflexible, the church has had to flex over all the years and all the changes that has come. This is just another one.
Yeah.
And we've had to, over the years, there's no doubt you take people on a journey, and those that have been there a long time do find it harder to change. Yet once they've changed, they're the biggest advocates of change because they've been here so long. They want the church to take its next step. They're just trying to work out how they go on the journey.
Yeah.
So over the last few years, we've gone down over the last 10 years, done everything from changing our church from one church with 3 services to now we're 10 campuses with 20 services, where we changed our name. We've gone to Atlanta. We've gone multi-site. We've changed the church a fair bit, not us, like as in us, our senior pastors, our church. We've changed together.
Yeah.
So then when this happens, there's no doubt there's a dramatic response.
Yeah.
But the response has been awesome because they love our church and they've seen change before. It's just not one like this. And I think when the church has its back against the wall, the church is sometimes at its best. Yeah. It's sometimes when nothing's changing, the church gets complacent, prayer meetings drop, people rock up late. We're joking on we're running our services much like everyone is, but we're watching them on Zoom like we're doing now. Yeah. So we've divided our whole church into groups of 10 and 15.
Yeah.
We've got
a big job.
Yeah, that's huge.
Listen, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool. So we got our whole church, and around 7,500 people we put into these small groups, really small groups, and then got around 360 Zoom group leaders. And they all run a couple services on Sunday, where we've filmed the service like most have. We've given it to them, but then they engage with the church. They share their screen. They watch the service together. They take communion together, and we do that a couple times a day with each group.
So
a huge thing. And when we looked at it, we went, how do we get this many leaders and this many people in our church to understand it? But when the back's against the wall, the church rises. Yeah. Now, normally we're like, how do we get people to turn up to a prayer meeting? How do we get people to come on time? All the things churches ask themselves. People turn up on time to Zoom church, right? Because it's starting. People are worshiping and engaging. We're praying for one another at the end. And people that, like my group's a bit random. I just went, I'm going to take some randoms. Anyone that wants to come in, just come in, right? Let Connect group leaders have a winning experience, because sometimes you just got to make sure everyone's good. And I'm watching these guys that have never connected before, would probably be the guys that walk in sometimes late, walk out early. They're praying for, they're taking communion together. And we wouldn't have ever wished this upon ourselves. Yeah. But the church rises and the church goes, you know what? It's difficult to stand up. So
I read something amazing. It said, a scared world needs a fearless church. And I think what we're doing globally, every church, we're finding new ways of reaching people and going into where they are. And I love that. And I just think, like, oh yes, we miss the physical being together, but I actually think this is going to be so good for the church across the globe. Like, shake off anything that isn't necessary and awaken the things that really matter.
Yeah,
so good. So Sjhana, talk to us. Can you just unpack that a little bit more, because that's a really interesting thought, because I think for a lot of people who feel a bit like this is kind of outside of my control, I don't know what's going on, I don't know how to lead my church, I don't know how to lead my people, I don't know how to lead what's right in front of me. There's one side that's saying that, but then there's another side that's like, this is an opportunity, the church is going to move forward. Like we even had, like Pastor Mark and Jemima Barragis on the show recently, and they even said this is like the revival's still coming. It just doesn't look how we thought it's going to look. Can you talk to us? Like, what are you seeing? What are you believing is the next step for the church? What's the future look like? What are we heading into?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think there's so many opportunities in this season to, number one, see God, but see other people. I think as a church, we can get so focused on running and think of ways of meeting people's needs, even if we can't physically have a coffee with them.
Yeah.
Like we've just launched our community project, what we're going to be doing to help the community, things like that.
Yeah.
I feel like
Fast-tracked it.
Yeah, they're the things that are waking up in this season, and actually people are reading their Bibles, and that is so good. Like people get so reliant on getting revelation or revival from a leader or a pastor, but the amount of conversations I'm having with people, even in my Zoom group, that are reading the Bible like that they weren't doing before, or they're making time for it because they've got nothing else to do. That's the stuff I think that is going to wake up the church. So I'm so excited about it, and I think the more we see it as an opportunity to see God and to draw near, the greater the revival we're going to have.
I think what you think at the start of this year, and God talks to his church, his big picture church. Yeah. So we all go into 2020 going, something's happening this decade. We sense something fresh. We all preached it, right? We all believe it because the Holy Spirit was speaking to all of us. I just think the Holy Spirit's making it not about a one gathering, although we're going to gather and it's going to be amazing, and about one leader and one prayer and one worship leader. He's actually making a revival happen in the spirit of all our people, of all the church. So we're having to lead ourselves in worship because we don't have the talented worship leader in front of us, and that gift and grace is being used and will continue to be used. But how much greater if we're all doing it in prayer meetings rather than trying to engage people in prayer? What if the church starts praying again? How much more powerful if we're doing that when we're isolated, but when we gather together? I just reckon something's going to crack open and people are having to get revelation themselves. So it is fast. When that word, it's funny, words get in and out of popularity. Revivals come back, right? It's one of those words that it stopped for a while and now people are talking about revival. You've said it, we've said it. But I do think it's because God's doing it. We just can't go, it looked like the 80s or it looked like the 90s or it looked like this place. It's going to be a personal revival because if this isn't a personal revival, it'll stop. It'll happen for a meeting, it'll happen for a season. But if we can get this happening in the season, I reckon, like Shans is saying, there's a shift, a fast track that's going on.
So good.
That's awesome.
So community, how cool that, like how many churches have fast tracked their community arm of their church? Like
100%.
Totally. We're all going, we need to care for one another. I mean, people are now talking together and doing this. Like we've always wanted to hang out and spend more time, but suddenly we're doing this because we're kind of forced to. We want to, but this makes it happen. There's so many good things that have come out of this.
We don't feel forced by you guys.
No. Sorry.
I'll kill you, Jacob. No.
It is my apologies.
No, but you're right. Like,
I was Pastor Mark Varghese. Did he have much good to say?
No, you know what? Not really.
He'll get there.
He kept saying about he's like the original Ebony and Ivory, not Katie and I, something like that. Whatever. You're right, bro. You bring up a really good point because the truth is, right, I actually feel like even with our church and our team, we've never actually, like, we meet, we gather, we function, we do all of that. But this whole season has caused us to have a new level of connectivity. Like, we're connected at a whole different level. There's more chats, there's more conversations. It's been incredible.
And just to add to it, Jace, sorry, I told my kid to shut his door for a moment. He really slammed it. We're nailing it. But I think you're right. And what I'm sure we're all finding is so often connectivity is being dependent on a few people. But suddenly it's just spreading and more and more and more. And to just, so much good. So much good can come out of something that's so difficult.
Totally. I preached a sermon a couple of weeks ago for church that we recorded, and in it I talked about the enemy thought he would be shutting the church down. So he thought, thought he's getting a win. I'm going to shut down about 1,000 church buildings around Australia. But it's like what he didn't realize was he was actually opening up millions of churches across the nation in his homes. And so it's like it's just a shift in perspective. It's like the church is not a building, it's not a location, it's a people. It's not a place, it's us, and it's really exciting. It's an exciting time.
His message for Sunday.
If I say that, and if somehow
all yours. It's all yours. Mate, me casa, su casa, bro. It's real talk. You guys are family.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No worries. Look, I've given you many of your messages. Most of your messages actually came from me.
Yeah, it's true. And I haven't quoted you once on them. So please take the morsels.
Well, how do you think this will? So that's, I think, what the church will look like, during all this virus. What do you think would be the biggest changes when church can go back to meeting face to face?
I think that's going to be the most amazing thing. I feel like every church is going to reevaluate the important things, and the things that don't really matter will just, I feel like we need to have good conversation about what goes and what stays, because I think we need to keep the main game. And
Yeah, that's so good.
yeah.
It is where there are things that they bear fruit and they are good, but we've done just because we've done them.
Yeah.
Totally.
And they take time, and they do take time away from sometimes. Look, I think prayer is going to rise in a whole new way because of this.
Yeah, so good.
Unity, of course, will. I think people will love one another. I think they'll value the gathering.
Yeah.
And I, as Sean said, it probably makes us all go, what matters? What matters the most? And I know as a leader, we don't want to just do church. And we don't ever just do church. And there was no sermon we rock up and just go, that'll do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can get familiar with it and you can lose your gratitude for it. And just, can you imagine how good it is to stand on doors and hug people when they walk in the first day back?
Yeah.
Imagine what it's going to sound like
What it's going to sound like.
to worship.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't wait. No, it's so good. So good. Hey, you know what? We want to do this thing with you guys, right? It's another segment that we have. It's called the deep dive. And so what the deep dive is this, right? We actually take a deep dive into your social media account and we pull a whole bunch of photos that you posted up ages ago, and we just put them up on the screen. We want you guys to explain it, talk to us a little bit about what's going on. And so, do you mind? Can we show you some photos real quick?
Let's do this deep dive. It's Shana's favorite segment on the show.
Okay, this is the one.
Oh, yes. I love it.
Keep that on.
Talk to us about look at the baby face. I love it. These two beautiful women right here. No, I'm joking. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I love you too.
So, Chase, that was the last time I had long hair. So over COVID, what I'm trying to do is regrow it.
Bring it back. I love it. That is just.
I look like
what is
a skater kid. Look at me.
Yeah, you look like the emo look. Like it's coming.
I do.
Let's
look at that hairband.
Bring 182 back, man.
Yeah,
I'm about it.
Right. Paint those nails.
Not deep dive that far, hey? That's
Hey, yeah.
That's the surfy face.
The deep
That's
dive.
the Billabong jacket, thick headband.
I
Looks
love
like eating a cookie I shouldn't have.
the headband is a little thick.
Thick headband.
Yeah, wait, tell us what's actually on your head, because there's a bit of hair sticking out at the back. It's
No.
not a beanie.
It's not a beanie.
We've been camping there. I don't know where we
Camping. It's a headband about that big. So look, here's the thing. If I'm in a mint, so I thought, can I pull off headbands? Yeah, I can. I'm going to find the fattest headband I possibly can find. And I don't regret a thing.
Oh, bro. And look how young you look. It's just, how old are you guys in this photo?
Oh, maybe 20, 26, 27.
Wow.
Something like that. Something like this. Hey, this is what ministry does to you guys.
We're pumped. We got something to look forward to. All right, here we go. Next photo. Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
okay.
Word on the street. Word on the street is that you're pretty gangster, and you got a couple bars that you can rap.
That's the question.
You know it.
Like,
Who knows? Okay, this is more post youth season, and they bring out some youth merch before
and
camp.
he's trying to appeal to the church crowd with the button-up shirt.
And the youth crowd with the jacket.
Yeah.
Totally. You can see what I'm trying to do. Dark beard stage too. Look at that.
I love it. I just want to know, like, what gang is this a part of? Like, what's going on?
You wouldn't understand how tough Adelaide gangs are because you're in Sydney. So I talk about it, but you wouldn't get it.
I love it. All right, here's one. Now, this was one that, as we were going through, I was really concerned And I just wanted to ask, maybe get some advice, maybe get some prayer after seeing this. If you guys can explain what's going on here.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. That's last week.
Sjhana, do you know about this photo?
Did you make that photo?
No, I didn't make it. This is real talk, real photos, right? This is 100% legit.
This is Cheryl and Beryl. They're our biggest tithers. And the only deal is I get a good old kiss on Sunday and we're good. So
I love it.
Pre-COVID.
Cheryl.
Cheryl and Beryl. Oh my God.
Pre-COVID, yeah. This was.
Yeah, definitely pre-COVID.
Sure we say that.
Definitely pre-COVID. Pastor Josh is a responsible person. Okay, so is there really no explanation for this? This is just.
Yeah, I can tell you this. This is at a place called Elizabeth in Adelaide. When I was a youth pastor, you go film videos. And you
probably two Elizabeths.
Yeah, you go two Elizabeths. We were married. But you're doing a youth video, and you do whatever's necessary for a youth video. And I don't know, I asked two ladies to give me a kiss on the cheek, and I think it might have been a dating one. It might have been a dating series we did.
It looks like you're enjoying.
I love it. And you're okay with that, Sjhana? You're
I'm
okay?
not.
Yeah.
I'd be
That's so.
theology.
You know what? Beryl and Cheryl weren't complaining.
I love it. Hey, you know what? Like honestly, with Josh in particular, I've known each other for many years now. Josh has been one of those people that anytime that I've been going through whatever, whether it's ministry or life, been able to get on the phone to you. Like we honestly are so grateful for the two of you guys. You guys have been, just such great friends, and like I know that there's been a lot of personal investment into my life. From you, Josh, and obviously you as well, Sjhana. And so I got my first chance was to meet you guys on that weekend that I was over there. But you guys have been such great friends to us, such big voices of encouragement. We love you both so much. Thank you for jumping on the show. We're so grateful for you guys. Hey,
I was like, I want you to hear this. You guys are incredible, and again, the way you think, the way you interact, the way you do family, and we do too much of this life over social media, although that is funny, that segment, but in seeing how you live and how you lead in church and how you follow in church, and leading and following together is a tricky thing. And we do that. We've got a grace for it. And I think more people that do that, the better, where there's always people you're following and always people you're leading together.
Yeah, so good.
And you guys do that incredibly in where you are. And you got such great hearts, and we love getting to know you and want to do more of this in the future. And I don't know whether this makes the video or not, but we love you guys, and let's just do this for a long, long time together.
Hey, we love you so much. Thanks for being such great friends. Thank you for being inspirations and people that we can do life with. We love you both so much. Anyway, that bed, that guest room, always available for you guys, all right? There's real talk right there. Hey, we love you. Have an incredible week. Peace out. Love you guys so much.
Adelaide Gangsters.
Bye.